He forgave me the first time, when I swore the messages meant nothing. He forgave me the second time, when I came home late and swore it was just a mistake. He always forgave, always stayed. So I kept pushing, kept lying, convinced he'd never walk away, until one morning I woke up alone. His closet was empty, no note, no goodbye, and after months now, I don't know if he's ever coming back again. I met Jacob in my second year of college. He was the quiet one, the kind of man who never tried to impress anyone, never bragged, never flirted. He didn't have to. There was this effortless strength about him, like he'd carry your weight without ever asking for applause. We met in the campus bookstore. I was arguing with the cashier about a missing textbook I swore I had returned. He stepped in, calmly diffused the whole thing, and handed me his own copy like it was nothing. I already passed that course. He smiled. You'll need it more than I do. I married that man 6 years later. We built a quiet little life together. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't wild, but it felt safe. And for a girl like me, who grew up with chaos, that kind of peace felt like love. He made pancakes on Sundays, opened car doors, remembered the little things. How I took my coffee, which side I slept on when I had cramps, the song that made me cry even though I pretended it didn't. When we had our daughter, Emma, he gave up a promotion because the travel would have kept him away too long. I can make the money later, he said, but I won't get this time back. Back then, I used to look at him like he was some kind of miracle I didn't deserve. I wish I still did. The first crack didn't look like betrayal. It looked like boredom. Motherhood became routine. Marriage became predictable. Jacob, the man who once made me feel like I was the only woman in the room, started to feel like furniture. Reliable, present, but invisible. And then came Nathan. He was just a dad from Emma's school. That's how it started, simple, harmless. His son was in Emma's class. We crossed paths during morning drop-offs, exchanged polite smiles. Then came the quick small talk. Weather, traffic, school events. He was funny. Not in a showy way, but in that dry, offbeat way that made you feel like you shared some private joke. I don't even remember the first time he texted. It must have been about a PTA event or volunteering for the bake sale. But once the number was in my phone, it never really stopped. At first, it was innocent Nathan. Hey, think the teacher will notice I bought cookies again. Asking for a friend. Me. Only if your friend forgot to take the price tag off this time. Nathan. Guilty. You're good at this mom thing, I'm just winging it. Me. Aren't we all? Then came the compliments. Nathan, I saw you at pickup today. That yellow sweater. You looked like sunshine. It was stupid. Silly. I remember reading it and smiling like a teenager. Then feeling guilty like I'd stolen something. But I replied anyway. Me. Careful. Flattery at 8 a.m. is dangerous. Nathan. Then I'll wait till 8 p.m. next time. From there, the messages got longer, more frequent. We'd talk about books, movies, frustrations, marriage, carefully, vaguely. He once texted, ever feel like you're someone's entire world, but you don't even recognize your own reflection anymore? I should have stopped it then, but I didn't, because I did feel like that. With Jacob, life had become so structured, predictable, safe in Nathan. He made me feel seen, desired, interesting. We never crossed any physical lines. There was no touching, no meeting up in hotel rooms. But the emotional intimacy ran deep. He knew about my insecurities, my childhood, the things Jacob didn't ask about anymore. The texts continued for months. Some days it was 10 messages, some days 50. We had our own little world, one I kept hidden behind a generic contact name. School group chat. I had to delete the thread every few days, afraid Jacob might scroll through. But sometimes I'd screenshot messages before I erased them, just to read later, like souvenirs from a life that didn't exist. Jacob found out by accident. It was a Sunday. I was in the shower and my phone buzzed on the counter. I hadn't deleted the thread that day. I heard the bathroom door creak open, but I didn't think anything of it. When I stepped out, he was sitting on the edge of the bed, still holding my phone. His hands were shaking. He didn't say a word at first, just stared at the screen like it had betrayed him. Then finally, softly, he asked, "Who's Nathan?" My stomach dropped. I tried to lie. Said he was just another dad from school, that we just talked about the kids, that it was stupid, nothing serious. But Jacob just held up the screen, and read a message out loud. Nathan, you're the best part of my day. I wish I could hold your hand without checking who's watching. He looked up at me and his voice broke when he asked, do you love him? No, I said, too quickly. It wasn't like that, I swear. You said things to him you haven't said to me in years. I opened my mouth, but no words came. He turned the phone toward me, his thumb scrolling through messages I barely remembered sending. Me. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like if I'd met you first. Nathan, maybe in another life. Me. In another life. I'd let you kiss me. I sank to the floor, crying. I never touched him, I said. It never got physical, I swear to you. Jacob sat down beside me. That's what shattered me. He didn't yell, didn't leave. He sat beside me and pulled me into his arms. I sobbed into his chest like I was the one who had been betrayed. He stroked my hair, and then he whispered the words I'll never forget. I'm not angry that you talked to him. I'm hurt that you never talked to me like that anymore. He forgave me. I don't know why. Maybe because he loved me too much. Maybe because he still believed we could fix it. Or maybe because he hadn't yet learned that forgiveness means nothing when the betrayal keeps coming. But I clung to that forgiveness like a life raft, and I promised him and myself that it would never happen again. I meant it when I said it. But the truth was, I hadn't stopped because I learned my lesson. I stopped because I got caught, and that's the difference. Jacob understood long before I did. After that, I promised to do better. For a while I did. We had awkward date nights. Counseling. I let him put a fingerprint lock on my phone. I even changed jobs to put distance between me and temptation. But the truth is, something in me was already broken. I had tasted the thrill, the rush, the attention. And going back to the quiet steadiness of Jacob felt like stepping out of a dream. So when temptation came again, in the form of a coworker named Theo, I didn't even resist. I told Jacob I was working late. He believed me, because of course he did. Only I wasn't at work. No, I was checking into a hotel with a man who wasn't my husband. A man who had a family of his own, a wife and 2 kids. And the excuse I had the last time, that it never got physical, yeah. I threw it out the window the second I saw him. I touched him first, kissed him first, pulled him on top of me first. And just like that, I let him have me all to himself. We had planned to stay the night. He had lied back home too, just like I did. But once it was over, I felt this overwhelming guilt. I couldn't stay, not a minute longer. That night, I made it home past midnight. He was asleep on the couch, TV still glowing softly, dinner cold on the table. My plate untouched. He'd waited up for me. Even after everything, I stood there staring at him, guilt twisting in my gut like poison. And still, I crept into the bedroom, showered quickly, and slipped into bed like nothing happened. I never confessed, but I didn't have to. Jacob always knew when something was off, and eventually he found out. A receipt, a message I forgot to delete, a coworker who said the wrong thing at the wrong time. I don't even remember the trigger, only the aftermath. He confronted me quietly. No yelling, no begging, no accusations. Just heartbreak in his voice as he asked, was it the same as before? I couldn't answer. So I cried, and again, he forgave me. But this time something changed. Not in what he said, but in what he didn't. He didn't touch me after that. Didn't joke with me. Didn't ask how my day was or remind me to drink water, or kiss me on the forehead when I fell asleep on the couch. He was still there, but not really. And I stupidly took his silence as another form of forgiveness. I thought he'd always stay, because he always had. But then came that morning. I woke up to Emma's laughter in the living room. Sunlight pouring in through the curtains. Everything looked normal until I opened the closet to grab his hoodie. It was empty, all of it. His clothes, his shoes, his favorite cologne, gone. I checked the bathroom, his toothbrush, razor, aftershave, his laptop, gone. His charger, gone. His drawer in the kitchen where he kept receipts and loose change and random keys, empty. No note, no message, no noise, just a silence so thick it rang in my ears. That's when it hit me. He didn't leave in anger. He left in peace. And somehow that hurt more. At first, I told myself it was temporary, that he just needed space, that he'd come back once he cooled off, that maybe he didn't even know, maybe something else had happened. Work stress, family emergency, A spontaneous trip to clear his head. I told myself everything but the truth. I left the porch light on. Every night, like he'd come walking up the driveway, keys in hand, ready to forgive me. But the days kept passing. His phone went straight to voicemail. I texted once, just once. "Can we talk?" No reply. I called his best friend, pretending I was just checking in. Got nothing but a strange pause and a forced, "Haven't heard from him lately." I asked his sister if she'd seen him. She said no, too quickly, and then added, "Maybe give him time." I didn't tell anyone what I'd done. I couldn't. There was no way they could find out what I have been doing, right? It didn't involve them. So I lied. I told people we had a fight, a big one, that he needed space, that he was visiting an old friend. I kept the lies small enough to sound reasonable. But inside, everything was unraveling. I barely slept, barely ate. I still parked in the same spot in the driveway just in case. Still left his side of the bed untouched. I couldn't bring myself to move his slippers from under the couch. Couldn't delete his last texts. Couldn't throw away the receipt he left on the counter from that sandwich shop he liked. It's been a month now. 31 days of nothing. No sign of him. No message, no closure. And I'm stuck here, in the house he once called home, in a life I lit on fire, listening to a silence that never ends. I don't know if he'll ever come back. I don't know if he's okay. I don't know if I even deserve to know. All I do know is this: he didn't leave to punish me. He left to save himself. And I think that's what hurts the most.
You have one unheard message.